You know what? Fuck that. Fuck that. You know what? We setting it off right here. Let's go.
Me changing your mind, it's not a very high likelihood,
Uh huh.
right? The audience that's watching, 40% of them are going to agree with what you say, what you say, what you say, what you say, and they hate me. 40% of the audience is going to agree with me. 20% of the audience is in the middle saying, I don't know, I mean, what do you think I should do? Should I feel like a victim or should I not make excuses? Or what is that guy saying? Or should I do this? Or should I sympathize? The 20% that's watching this, that has a fighting chance, I'm hoping they realize they can do something about their lives. We're not going to be able to solve 100% of people's problems, unfortunately.
I don't think people should keel over, but that doesn't mean most people have an equal competitive advantage to something.
I think
like somebody
everybody
like
has
me
a certain gift
somebody
to
like
offer.
me is more privileged
I think
inherently. I don't think
everybody listening to her present, she could be a lawyer. Listening to her present, she's got fire in her belly. Everybody here's got a gift. Every single person here's got a gift. Whether they choose to use it in a way to help them advance in life, that's not my
Not
fault.
everybody
That's on
can
them.
afford-
Me changing your mind,
Set it off. Talk to these losers. Shout out to CJ, man. Talk to these Mitches, man. Talk to these Mitches. Because you got a fucked up idea of reality right now. You understand that when y'all get up here and talk this way, what you're doing for the person who doubts themselves is you give them an out. You give them someone to relate to. As long as the loser has someone to relate to, the sickness continues to spread. One of the worst things for me, and I got the experience like being with someone who wasn't centered around food, who enjoyed other things aside from eating, right? And the impact that had on me, which made me eat less, and maybe start looking at, okay, you know what? Maybe maybe my portions are a little bit too big, you know what I mean? And have a better feeling of I've had enough to eat. That's why your time management and your stress management is super important because it affects your relationships with everything. I keep telling y'all, welcome to the winner's circle. If you made it here, you chose to win. I'm coming to cook. Okay, I swear I'm coming to cook. You understand? But we setting it off there because again, he said, what he did to the room was he gave a gift. Whereas the young man, without even knowing what the context of the conversation is, I can tell by the short sleeve shirt. All right, I can tell by your beard. Which again, nothing wrong with the fit, nothing wrong with the beard. But who do I take more serious? Who has more experience? And also, who's speaking truth to power? We got to get into that. What do it mean to speak truth to power? He said everyone in here got a gift. Where he started doing what he was giving you leadership. This is why the victimhood shit leads to, really, again, I blame it all on feminism. I'm going to keep saying it. We're dealing with the long-term consequences of female leaderships via single mother-led households, which creates generations of people who cannot solve their own problems, all right, who are entitled, feels that they're entitled to a happy ending. And I don't care how you got there. You're not entitled to nothing. You're not even entitled to peace. You have to earn everything in life, all right, or at least find a way to be grateful. Pardon me. In Buddhism, we have the 4 debts of gratitude. Okay? Sensei and Nichiren Daishonin wrote about how you owe a debt of gratitude to the sovereign of the land, meaning whoever's in government, whoever's leading the nation, leading the country. You owe a debt of gratitude to them. A debt of gratitude to your community, a debt of gratitude to your employer, and a debt of gratitude to your family and specifically your parents. And ironically, these are the 3 people. The people who fit in this slot for most people are the people that you have the most contempt for. Right, you have the most smoke for. You have no appreciation for. I was at a Buddhist meeting last night, and I was like, I got to a different level in my practice when I started really looking at my kahansen, looking at my practice as if pretty much how I should look at my father. And in my mind, I never look back on what my father didn't do. As I got older, the older I got, the things he wasn't doing or didn't do became smaller and less significant to me. Because that's not life. My dad gave me his experience. He gave me his genetics. He helped bring me into this world. And also, I get to be a handsome devil because of my dad. Ooh, yeah. Let's talk about it. Your boy hella handsome. But anywho, what Beloved did was, this is leadership. This is what I would call the divine masculine as it is. Not no coach shit. go check out the Twin Flames universe if you want to really get into like a lesson on narcissism and a lesson on how lost these liberals are. Cause a lot of people who have this victim mindset, a lot of them tend to be liberal, Democrat, and whatever, and to the point of being radical. If you see any kind of multicolored hair, all right, a dude dressed too informal to a formal event, you understand? Another thing too I'm gonna point out is also the women in the crowd, the facial expressions of support and or lack thereof. Those expressions, and this is what men gotta understand for themselves. Because again, women are not going to tell you anything directly that actually matters. She may tell you her opinion for the moment. She'll tell you what she wants. The same with your children. You have to teach your children about what's important. Like I tell my son, I'm helping him understand what's important and what's not important. Staying on subject, showing that you're paying attention. Shit like that, right? Men gotta understand that women are not creatures of action. Women are creatures of comfort, okay? And the path of least resistance, even if it's the worst path. You understand? Women are chaotic, meaning that if left to their own devices, again, the best analogy, and shout out to Crimps and Curious is our analogy, is that a woman's chaos is like fire. If left unchecked, if not with no order to it, no purpose put to it, it can't really do anything constructive. It could burn a house down, burn your car up, burn your toast up, okay? But when it's controlled, I could make some tasty baby back ribs. When it's controlled, my cast iron pot gets the strength that it needs. It gets the love that it needs. Let me put my hand down. Because if I put my hand up too high, me and that cast iron pot, I'm like Thor with the cast iron pot. Hold on, I'm gonna put my hand up real quick. If I leave my hand up too long, we might be good and it may not come through the wall. But if I go like this, if I'm like across town, I gotta leave a few of my windows open at all times because if my hand go up too high by mistake, it'll go right through the window.